All right, so are you ready to dive into Order of the Phoenix?
Uh,
Because I know I am.
Always. It's such a rich book. So much going on.
It really is. You guys gave us a ton of excerpts to dig into, and I have to say, even for someone who, rereads the series like it's going out of style, there's always something new to discover.
Right. It's one of those stories that just keeps giving the more you think about it. What might have seemed, like typical teenage angst on the first read suddenly reveals these layers of like political commentary, emotional depth. It's really fascinating.
Exactly, and that's what we're here for, right? To unearth those hidden gems, the little details that make you go, hold on, was Rowling planning this all along?
Mm, mm. Okay, so let's jump right in. We start with Harry, stuck back at the Dursleys. Not exactly the most magical summer vacation, to say the least.
Yeah, it's grim, isn't it? But it's more than just a boring summer. That feeling of being ignored, like you're screaming into a void even when you're surrounded by people. That's something a lot of us can relate to. It's like, he's the only one who can see the storm clouds gathering, and everyone else is just oblivious.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, bam! Dementor attack. Talk about a rude awakening. But it's not just a plot device to get him back to the wizarding world, right? It really sets the stage for the Ministry's denial, this willful blindness to Voldemort's return.
Oh, absolutely. It shows how far they're willing to go to maintain control, choosing comfort and this facade of normalcy over, facing the very real danger, and the way they try to discredit Harry, to silence him. It's disturbingly relevant even outside the magical world.
Yeah, it makes you think about how often those in power try to, suppress voices that challenge them. It's a bit chilling when you really think about it.
It is, it is.
Okay, and luckily Hogwarts is just around the corner.
Yep.
And let's be honest, who hasn't wished for a Hogwarts letter at some point, right? I know I still check the mailbox sometimes, just in case.
Haha, yeah, right. The escape, the magic, the learning, it's the ultimate fantasy.
Totally. But even in Hogwarts, we see this struggle against, well, these oppressive systems.
Right.
And that brings us to, of course, Dumbledore's army.
Oh, Dumbledore's army.
Come on, secret meetings, forbidden spells. It's like the ultimate study group, except with way higher stakes. And the fact that it's completely student-led, that says a lot about their resilience.
Right. They're not passively absorbing information. They're taking charge. They see what needs to be done, and they're going for it.
Yeah.
Especially since the ministry is so focused on denying the danger, they refuse to teach them, practical defense.
It's like they're saying, okay, the adults aren't going to do it, so we'll take care of ourselves, which is, a pretty powerful message.
It is. And that whole theme of self-reliance, it's something we can all learn from. Those times in your life where you've had to step up, to learn a new skill, to fight for what you believe in, even when it felt like everyone was against you, those are Dumbledore's army moments.
Ooh, deep. I like it. And speaking of, feeling like everyone is against you, we have to talk about the pink elephant in the room. Or should I say, the toad in pink. Dolores Umbridge. She's just, she gives me shivers.
Oh, Umbridge. She's masterfully written, isn't she? Like, she embodies that suffocating bureaucracy, the kind that prioritizes rules over well-being, appearances over truth.
It's like she's weaponizing niceness, all those kitten plates and pink cardigans while she's, enforcing decrees that are stripping students of their freedom, and those defense against the dark arts lessons, please.
Oh, yeah. Textbook example of theory over practice. You can't learn to swim by reading about water. Umbridge is so obsessed with control, with maintaining the ministry's narrative, that she's completely missing the point.
And speaking of missing the point, Hagrid's back. And he's looking a little worse for wear, if you ask me. What's all this giant business about anyway?
Hagrid's story it's more than just a side plot, right? It actually ties into this whole theme of, well, feeling like an outsider. He's half giant, remember, never quite fit in. So when he goes on this mission to the Giants, it's like he's searching for connection, a place where he belongs.
It's interesting because it does sort of mirror Harry's struggle, too. That feeling of, not quite belonging anywhere. And then, of course, we have the Thestrals. And these creatures, they're fascinating. Not just because, they're creepy and skeletal and all that, but because they're only visible to those who've seen death. Pretty heavy stuff.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
They represent, like, this unspoken burden of loss, the way grief changes how you see the world, literally. And for Harry, well, he's seen a lot of death, way too much. So their presence it's a constant reminder of that darkness.
It's like that saying, you can't really understand someone's darkness until you've seen the same shadows. And those shadows are about to get a whole lot darker as we move into the next set of excerpts. because things are about to get really interesting in the Department of Mysteries. But
Mhm.
we'll save that for part two. For now, I'm curious, what stood out to you so far? What hidden gems have you noticed in these early chapters? Hold on to those thoughts because we've got a lot more to unpack.
Welcome back to our deep dive. Picking up where we left off, what really strikes me about these next excerpts is how much they reveal about relationships, about the power of connection, especially when things get tough.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, we left Harry feeling pretty isolated, right? Misunderstood. And let's be real, a little terrified of what's to come. But then he gets to Grimmauld Place and is like, phew, he can finally breathe again. Suddenly he's surrounded by people who, they get it. They believe him. They're ready to fight alongside him.
That sense of belonging, it's huge. Think about it. We all want that. That feeling of being seen, being accepted, especially when we're facing, tough times. And for Harry, who's carrying like the weight of the world on his shoulders, having Ron and Hermione there, unwavering. It's a lifeline.
Yeah, it's more than just like a shoulder to cry on, though,
Yeah.
right? They're actively challenging the Ministry, standing up to Umbridge. They're literally risking their education, their future, to fight for what's right.
It shows how deep their loyalty runs. Remember that quote Hermione brings up
Mm-hmm.
about how friendship and trust are like a powerful magic. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Their bond, it's a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
It gives Harry strength when he feels like giving up.
It's making me think about, the people in my own life who have my back no matter what. The ones who believe in me, who encourage me, who would fight alongside me. It's a powerful thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And those relationships, they can take so many forms, right? We see it in the wider community of the Order of the Phoenix, too. This group of witches and wizards, each with their own, quirks and flaws. But they're united by this common purpose
Yeah.
to oppose Voldemort.
The Order, it's like this dysfunctional family, right? You've got the stern but loving Mrs. Weasley. You've got Mad-Eye Moody, who's, well, a little eccentric to say the least. And then you have Remus Lupin, quietly wise. It's such a mix of personalities, but they're all there for Harry, offering protection, guidance.
Yeah, exactly. They represent that collective strength, the power of coming together, even when you're different, when you don't always agree,
Yeah.
to face a common enemy.
And it's interesting how they each have their own way of trying to protect Harry, right?
Right.
Reflecting these different perspectives on how to prepare him for the fight ahead.
Yeah.
But think about Sirius and Mrs. Weasley. I mean, she wants to shield Harry, keep him safe at all costs.
Yeah.
But Sirius, he wants him to be involved. He wants him to know the truth, even if it's, scary.
It's a classic dilemma, protection versus preparation. And it's something we all face,
Yeah.
Right? Even when we're not, battling Dark Lords. How much do we shield the people we love from the harsh realities of the world, and when do we let them face those challenges head on? It's tough.
It's like that saying, prepare the child for the road, not the road for the child. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to know where that line is,
Right.
And Harry's, well, he's stuck in the middle, trying to find his own voice, his own agency amidst all these conflicting opinions.
And that struggle for agency, that's a huge theme in this book, isn't it? Harry's constantly being told what to do, what to think, what to feel. Dumbledore keeps him in the dark. The Ministry tries to control the narrative. Even his friends, they sometimes, they try to shield him from the truth. It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's part of what makes Dumbledore's army so powerful, right? It's a rebellion against that control. It's them saying, we're taking charge of our own learning, our own destinies. It's pretty inspiring.
It is. And,
Yeah.
It's through teaching, through sharing what he knows, that Harry actually finds a new kind of strength. He's not just the boy who lived anymore, the chosen one. He's a leader. He's a mentor.
Okay, but we have to talk about Snape. He is such a complex character, always lurking in the shadows, full of resentment and secrets, those occlumency lessons.
Yeah.
Intense. I mean, brutal, really. But they also give us this glimpse into Snape's past, his own pain, his vulnerabilities.
Snape he's a masterclass in character development. He's this tangled mess of loyalty and bitterness, shaped by trauma, by those unresolved conflicts from his past, and the memories that Harry sees. They just add another layer to their already complicated relationship.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, right? We got these glimpses into why Snape acts the way he does, his motivations, and well, it's not always pretty, but it makes him a more human character, more relatable, even if we don't always agree with his choices.
Exactly. And those occlumency lessons,
Yeah.
as tough as they are, they also highlight something important about Harry's growth, this need for self-control. the mastery of his emotions. He's not just learning to block Voldemort. He's learning about discipline, about the power of his own thoughts and feelings.
He's facing his inner demons at the same time he's facing these external threats. And let's be real, we all have those inner demons, right? Those doubts, those fears. Harry's journey shows us that, facing those challenges, learning to control those emotions, it's a huge part of growing up,
Yeah,
of becoming who we're meant to be.
very well said. And it's those moments of vulnerability, those glimpses of shared humanity that make this story so relatable, so powerful. Even with all the magic and the fantastical element, there's this core of truth, a reflection of our own struggles, our own triumphs.
And even amidst all the darkness, there are these moments of light. Those times in the room of requirement, the camaraderie of Dumbledore's army, the laughter and shared stories among friends. Those are the things that fuel their resilience, the things that remind us how important joy is, how important connection is, even when things are tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Those connections they're vital. They're like anchors that keep us grounded, remind us that we're not alone.
Exactly.
And speaking of anchors, we can't forget about Hagrid. Always there for Harry, unconditional love, a unique perspective on the magical world.
He's like that giant teddy bear we all need, right? Maybe a little rough around the edges, but his heart it's pure gold. And his mission to the Giants, even if it's, a little misguided, it speaks to his loyalty, his unwavering belief in Dumbledore.
And Hagrid's love for magical creatures, even the dangerous ones. It reflects this core theme of empathy, of understanding. He sees the good in everyone, even those who society deems monstrous. And his relationship with Grop, as funny as it is, it also shows how complex family can be, the lengths we go to protect the ones we love, even when they're different.
It's funny because those scenes where he's trying to civilize Grop, hilarious, but there's also this real tenderness there, this genuine desire to help this creature who doesn't fit in. Makes you think about what it means to be different, right? To be an outsider in a world that doesn't understand you.
That's a question that resonates, doesn't it? And it's something that he's grappling with it throughout the book. He's the boy who lived, marked by this prophecy. But he also just wants to, be a normal teenager, have a first love without the weight of the world on his shoulders. His relationship with Cho Chang is a perfect example of that.
It's like he just wants a normal teenage experience, a first love, a first heartbreak, without all this pressure, this darkness looming over him.
Yeah, and their relationship it's complicated by grief, by misunderstandings, by the sheer pressure of the situation they're in, and it doesn't work out, which is, it's sad.
Hmm.
But it's also a realistic portrayal of young love, especially when you add, extraordinary circumstances to the mix.
It's a good reminder that even in the middle of magical battles and prophecies, those human experiences, those heartbreaks and those little victories, they're still universal. We all crave connection. We all experience loss. We all stumble and fall on the way to figuring things out.
Beautifully said. Sometimes, those connections come from the most unexpected places. Think about Luna Lovegood. She's such a unique character, so open-minded, accepting, even when others think she's, a little odd. Her friendship with Harry, it's different, but it offers him a different kind of support.
Luna, she's like this breath of fresh air. She doesn't judge Harry's struggles, his anger, his pain, and she offers him this sense of peace, of understanding. She sees the world so differently, and that helps Harry too. It helps him see things in a new light.
Their bond shows how important it is to find those people who really see us, who embrace our quirks, our flaws, It's a powerful message about authentic connection.
It's like she's saying, hey, it's okay to be different. It's okay to think outside the box. And in a world that's always trying to fit us into these neat little boxes, that's a really liberating message.
Absolutely. And in a world full of deception, of hidden agendas, Luna's sincerity it's like a beacon of hope. She reminds us that true strength, it often comes from vulnerability, from acceptance.
These excerpts are really making me realize how important relationships are in this book, like how rich that tapestry is. Each interaction, each connection, it all adds up to Harry's growth, to his resilience. But as we all know, those relationships, they're about to be tested like never before.
That's right. Because when we come back for part 3, we'll be diving into those pivotal moments in the Department of Mysteries, the losses, the sacrifices, and the profound lessons Harry learns about courage, about love, and about what it truly means to fight for what you believe in.
Welcome back. Okay, so we've talked about isolation, about rebellion, about, the power of friendship. But now things are about to get real, right? We're heading into the Department of Mysteries, and, well, it's not exactly a walk in the park.
It's not, no. The Department of Mysteries is it's like this realm of the unknown, hidden magic,
Hmm.
prophecies, secrets that could change everything. And it's where Harry's, well, his deepest fears, his loyalty, it all comes crashing
It
together.
all comes down to those visions he's having, doesn't it? Those dreams of Sirius being tortured. It plays right into his anxieties, that need to protect Sirius. I mean, he's the closest thing Harry has to family.
And Voldemort knows that. He's playing on Harry's emotions. He's using that love, that connection, knowing that he'll do anything to save Sirius, even defy Dumbledore. And that impulsiveness, it's both Harry's strength and his weakness.
And I think we all fell for it, right? At least on the first read, you get swept up in Harry's panic, his certainty that he has to save Sirius, and it's only later, when you look back, you realize that, oh, she was setting us up this whole time.
It's brilliant, really. It shows how the series is maturing. What might have seemed like a simple rescue mission, well, it's not simple at all. It's this exploration of manipulation, of the consequences of not controlling your emotions, and the realization that sometimes even good intentions, they can lead to really bad outcomes.
And the outcome here, devastating. I mean, the battle in the Department of Mysteries, it's chaos, it's terrifying. And it leaves Harry with scars that go way deeper than any physical wound. Sirius's death. Come on, that scene, it still gets me, even after all this time.
It's a major turning point, isn't it? Not just for Harry, but for the whole series. That feeling of safety, that belief that love could conquer everything, it's shattered. And Harry has to face this really harsh reality. That even if you try your hardest, sometimes you can't save everyone.
He's losing a part of himself, a part of his childhood. And then there's the guilt too, that maybe if he just listened to Dumbledore, if he hadn't been so impulsive, maybe Sirius would still be alive.
Yeah, that guilt, that feeling of responsibility, it's something we all struggle with, right?
Hmm.
In our own lives too. Those what ifs and the if onlys that stay with you after a loss. But it can also be, a way to grow. It forces Harry to really look at himself, at his flaws, to understand that his actions have consequences,
Mm.
and that sometimes you make mistakes you can't undo, even with the best intentions.
It's a tough lesson, but it's one he needs to learn. And it's after all this, amidst the grief and the despair, that Dumbledore finally tells him the truth about the prophecy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this moment of clarity, right? A glimpse of hope in this really dark time.
And it shows the power of knowledge.
Yeah.
For so long, Harry's been kept in the dark, given little pieces of information, but never the whole picture.
Yeah.
But now that he knows the truth, he can start to understand. He can understand his role, why Dumbledore's been doing what he's been doing, the sacrifices that have been made to protect him.
Yeah, he's finally being treated like an equal, like a partner, not just,
Yeah.
a pawn in this big game. And even though the prophecy, it reveals this pretty grim destiny, this link to Voldemort that he can't escape,
Yeah.
it also shows that Harry has choices, that his capacity for love, for compassion, that's the key.
That's what matters. It's not set in stone. The prophecy, it shows what could happen, the potential for good and for bad. But it's Harry's choices, his values, his belief in love, in friendship that will determine what happens.
It makes me think about our own lives, We all face challenges. We all have these choices to make. And we might not have a prophecy hanging over us, but we still have the power to choose our path, to fight for what we believe in, to make a difference.
I completely agree. Order of the Phoenix, it's so much more than just a story about wizards and magic. It's about the human experience,
Yeah.
about the struggles, the choices, the things that connect us, and the power of love and hope, even when things are really, really dark.
So there you have it, our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. We've uncovered some hidden meanings, explored some pretty complex themes, and yeah, maybe even shed a few tears along the way.
But remember, this is just the start. There's so much more to discover in this book. So we encourage you to go back, to reread it, to find your own interpretations, ask yourself questions, explore those lingering thoughts, because there's always something new to find in this story.
And who knows, maybe we'll be back for another deep dive soon. But until then, happy reading.